Hello and welcome to Cataylze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter, and today I've got another Ableton quick tip for you. This time we're going to be dealing with drums and how to take a drum beat that's all in one drum rack and separate it out into separate tracks. This is especially useful as I'm kind of moving into the mixing stage of my workflow, because when I'm writing, I like to have one MIDI clip with all of my information and all of my drum stuff in one place. And then when I'm mixing, I want to have maximum control so I can control volume, effects, sensor returns, all that kind of stuff for each track individually. So the way this is going to work is I have a drum rack here very similar to the one we made in the drum layering quick tip, where I have a kick drum with 2 layers, a snare drum with 2 layers, and some hi-hats. I also have a drum bus that's kind of sitting outside of our drum rack. So what I want to do here is I want to, in my drum rack, hit this button over here on the side underneath your device show and hide button. There's this chain area. Within the chain area, it's going to list all of the different sounds within your drum rack, and all you really need to do is right-click on the name and hit Extract Chains. So in this case, it's going to do a couple things. It's going to, number one, create a new MIDI track for us that contains all of these samples that were on that layer, so both layers of my kick, as well as any effects that were also on that chain. So this EQ8 also came with it. It also grabs all of the relevant MIDI information. So all of the kick drum MIDI information is now on this separate track, and you can see it's all alone in its own separate track like this, and I can just drag this back up next to my other drums. So when I do this, there's 3 things that do not go with it that you need to watch out for. The first of which is the track volume. The track volume right here was at negative 3.6 dB, and the new track volume is at 0. So watch out for that. If your drums are turned down to be like negative 12 decibels and then you extract your chains and hit play, your extracted chains are going to be very, very loud. So watch out for that. The other thing that does not come with it is any effects that were outside of your drum rack. So over here I had this drum bus. This was outside of my drum rack. So when I extracted that chain, that drum bus did not go with it because it wasn't inside the drum rack. The third thing that does not go with it is any internal sends and returns inside your drum rack. Most people don't use the internal sends and returns in a drum rack, so don't worry about that too much. But that's it. That's basically the whole process, and you can just repeat this for every single one of your drum sounds. So just to try this out again, we're going to go over to our snare. We're going to make sure our chain list is open. We're going to right click on this, hit Extract Chains, and then boom, it creates a new MIDI track with a new drum rack, all of the relevant MIDI information, as well as any of the effects that were specifically on, in this case, my snare. So I'll do this for all of the major sounds within my drum rack, kick, snare, hi-hat. Maybe I'll put my toms on a separate track together, and maybe some percussion I'll keep in another drum rack by itself. And that way, again, as I'm mixing, I can visually just be able to see everything all individually here. Keep in mind that all of the mixing that you can do here, you could do with just a regular drum rack. You can mix inside of a drum rack. But to me, this looks a lot cleaner and is a bit easier to work with. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, keep an eye out for more videos. We're releasing them every Monday and Thursday. And if you enjoy them, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.